front of house, please. Medic, front of house. Thank you.
Boy, I like that you ain't afraid. Baby, lay me down and let's pray. I'm telling you the way I like it, how I want it. Yeah. And I could be all the things you told me not to be. Yeah. When you try to cover me, I keep on flourishing. Yeah. And he said the universe when I'm the company. You love it how I move you. You love it how I touch you, my one. When all is said and done, you believe God is a woman. And I feel it after midnight. I feel it that you can't fight my one. And lingers when we're done, you believe God is a woman. I tell you all the things you should know. So baby, take my hand, say this song. We can make it last, take it slow. And I can tell that you know I know how I want it. That you're different from the rest. And boy, if you confess, you might get blessed. See if you deserve what comes next. I'm telling you the way I like it, how I want it. Yeah. And I could be all the things you told me not to be. Yeah. When you try to cover me, I keep on flourishing. Yeah. And he see the universe when I'm the company. Is I and me. You love it how I move you. You love it how I touch you, my one. When all is said and done, you believe God is a woman. I feel it after midnight. I feel it that you can't fight my one. And then guess when we're done, you believe God is a woman. God is a woman. God is a woman, yeah. And all is said and done, you believe God is a woman. God is a woman. God is a woman, yeah. And lingers when we're done, you believe God is a woman.
Took the DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You could have had a bad bitch, not committal. Help you with your career, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you're holding me back, and that's the sound of me not calling you back. Why men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me and tell it straight to my face. Best friends get me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota Vikings. True first needed something more exciting. Dum 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 dum.
Hello, Los Angeles! Thank you all for coming. A couple of public service announcements. Love the signs right here. If you're in front of the cameras, if you can keep yours a little lower so that the people that are streaming this can see. Also, letting people, everyone start filling in and go towards the back. I'm Dina Katz. I'm Emiliana Guereca, Los Angeles! Where are the feminists?
And I'm John Erickson.
We are stronger together, and to start this off, Barbara Streisand is going to say a few words on the audio. She's not here.
In Texas, a person has the right to reject wearing a mask during a deadly pandemic. But the state legislature says a woman isn't allowed the right to control her own body. Governor Abbott has women fleeing Texas, crossing state lines to access medical care. And this is no easy feat in a state almost 3 times the size of the United Kingdom. Given the time off and money required to make such a trip, in addition to the hollowing out of healthcare that was already rife with racial and socioeconomic inequities, working women, young women, and women of color will be disproportionately affected by this law. Thanks to Trump's ultra-conservative picks, the Supreme Court, in the dead of night, effectively swept away a woman's constitutional right to control her own body. His Supreme Court includes a woman who doesn't believe in another woman's right to choose, apparently even in the case of incest or rape. It's a complicated legal matter, but a simple matter of conscience before us. Women are either equal citizens with the same rights as men over their bodies, the right to decide what is best for our own health and family needs. We are either equal in the eyes of the law and the Constitution and our fellow citizens, or we are not. Do we accept this? I think our wholehearted rejection is clear, and may this be the beginning of a defense that reverberates across the nation, particularly in the states that treat women as unequal citizens. We do not. Thank you.
Ever be your side chick? I put the scene, getting single. Ain't worried about a ring on my finger. So you can tell your friend, shoot your shot when you see him. It's okay, he already in my DM. Why men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota Vikings. True first needed something more exciting. I'ma hit you back in a minute. I'll play tag, I've been it. We don't with lies, we don't do goodbyes. We just keep it pushing like aye, aye, aye. I'ma hit you back in a minute. I'll play tag, I've been it. We don't with lies, we don't do goodbyes. We just keep it pushing like aye, aye, aye. Why men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota Vikings. True first needed something more exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Justina Machado.
Hey, ¿cómo están mi gente? Hello, Los Angeles. It is my honor and privilege to introduce two incredible women who fearlessly stand up for what is real, right, and important. Iconic attorney Gloria Allred handles more women's rights cases than any other law firm in the nation. She is a multiple Emmy Award nominee and has won countless honors for her pioneering legal work on behalf of women. In the words of President Obama, Gloria Allred is one of the best attorneys in the country. Joining Gloria is Paxton Smith, the Texas valedictorian who abandoned her planned high school graduation speech. Yes, to speak out against the draconian Texas abortion law. In a speech that went viral, highlighting Paxton as an inspirational advocate for women's control of their own bodies. Yes, please welcome Gloria Allred and Paxton Smith.
We love you, women and men of Los Angeles. Are you here to fight on? We are going to fight against this Texas law, SB 8. I think it should be called SB Hate. What do you think? It's hate when they require almost a total ban on abortion. When, as the Justice Department attorney said yesterday in court, that it requires a woman, a child, a minor who is a rape victim by someone in her family to drive 8 hours from Galveston to another state just to get an abortion. Do you think that's wrong? And so do I. That rape victim reminds me of me in the 60s, when, before Roe v. Wade, it was a crime for a doctor to give an abortion, although not for a woman to have one. But that meant that I, as a rape victim who was raped in Mexico at gunpoint, had to find someone, when I was in my 20s, to do a back alley abortion, who was not licensed, and he did, and left me in a bathtub in my own blood. And when I developed a fever of 106, that's when they could take me to a hospital in California to prevent me from bleeding to death. So there I was, packed in ice, and a nurse said, "I hope this teaches you a lesson." It did teach me a lesson. Abortion has to be safe and legal and affordable and available. And that's why we're here today, because there are going to be, and already are, many states copying the Texas law. The Texas law is clearly in violation of Roe v. Wade. It is clearly. Don't you agree? So yes, I've been fighting since the 1970s early to keep abortion a woman's right, and not to let these states get away with controlling women, because it's dangerous to their lives. And we are not going to allow women to have to risk their lives as they did before Roe v. Wade, as I did, when more women and girls died or were maimed from illegal abortions than men ever died in Vietnam. And God bless the men who sacrificed for our country. But this was our war on women, and it's still a war on women and our bodies. Do you agree? This is not just an academic issue. And that's why the Justice Department of the United States representing the Biden administration, came in and challenged it in federal court yesterday. Do you agree? And Monday, the United States Supreme Court starts its term, and we are concerned that there are a majority against the right to choose abortion who may erode and undercut the 1973 decision of Roe v. Wade. Are you going to send them a message today by being here? And we want the passage of the Women's Health Protection Act that was passed in the House and is going to the Senate. Are you in support of that so we can codify Roe v. Wade? As Gloria Steinem said, generally the first act of an authoritarian regime is to take control of women's bodies and ban abortion. Are we going to let them do that? So, in Mississippi, of course, they have a very restrictive ban on abortion, and that case is being challenged, and that case will be heard in December by the United States Supreme Court. Do we want the U.S. Supreme Court to keep abortion safe and legal and affordable and available? I am continually inspired by you. I'm putting my life on the line, you are as well, because our lives are on the line. And we want protection for our daughters and our sisters and our mothers and our aunts. And we are going to fight for that protection. Are you? And let me say now, it is my honor, it is my privilege to introduce Paxton Smith. 18-year-old Texas young woman, valedictorian at her high school graduation, tore up her approved speech and gave the one she really wanted to give just a few months ago in support of the right to choose abortion against SB 8. Paxton Smith.
A little over a month ago, my state's 6-week abortion went into effect. The governor of Texas said that this legislation would save lives, but he clearly doesn't know or has chosen to ignore the reality of getting an abortion while it is illegal. The truth is that before Roe v. Wade, thousands of people died from having to get abortion done illegally. Doctors' hands were tied behind their backs by belief-based legislation, and patients were forced to take their care into their own hands. They died from that. We will not go back to the days when the only way to end an unwanted pregnancy is to risk our lives. We will not go back to the days when the only way to, we will not go back to the days when we use coat hangers to access our basic human rights. We are not vessels for reproduction. We are human beings, and it is about time that we get treated like that. The principles of this nation are freedom, liberty, and equality, and when the government turns its back on those principles, we will not be the ones to stay silent. Being a patriot and loving this country is not about letting politicians run a field day. It is about holding this country accountable for everything it claims itself to be. A home for all of its people. A home that protects the human rights of all of its people. Today we will let them know that we will not rest until that is our reality.
So we want the participation of young women like Paxton Smith, middle-aged women, older women, and men, because they have a stake in this as well. And I love to see some of the children who are even younger than Paxton